guys. MVP's a great promo, great story about a guy who got his life on track and,
Yeah.
fixed everything. So, I mean, like, I like his story. I think he's very talented as a manager, and I love having managers. I like the idea of him and Nana having issues over Swerve. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. That's good. But I'm kind of like, do we need to do this again with Shane? Like, it's still a WWE guy coming in. Like,
Yeah. And look, and I think we used to say this on our old TNA podcast. I try not to discriminate against somebody based on where they used to work,
mhm.
right? Like I think that's weird. However, it's getting really bad in this company where they're just continuing to take acts off of the other show and try to freshen them up a little bit and bring that act over. Especially if that act had a grievance against their former boss, so they kind of want to get some of that attention on them. But I'm like, you guys really you're focusing on the wrong people. Like MVP is like almost 50. Bobby Lashley is almost 50. Shelton Benjamin's almost 50. And you're going to bring three guys who are getting close to having their AARP cards. That doesn't mean they can't go. They still can. I think Bobby Lashley looks like he's 35.
Mhm.
But the fact of the matter is they're just stale acts from the federation that you're bringing over on your TV show. And you're going to be taking TV time away from some fresh faces that maybe you should be really getting behind to push forward. Because I'm telling you right now, MVP and Bobby Lashley, as much as I love them, they're not going to draw a single dollar for AEW. It's just not
No.
going to happen. So essentially, you're just going to be bringing them in, and it's going to be a net negative. But look, he's a fucking billionaire. Spend all the money you want, dude. But I'm just not interested in it on my television.
I'm kind of with you on this one. If the plan is that Swerve just beats these guys, right? They come in to deal with Swerve and Swerve deals with them, and they're able to take their presence and channel it into one of AEW's young, specifically black stars.
Yeah.
I could open up to that a little more. I can't think of who that would be off the top of my head. I
Yeah,
mean, like, I don't know if like Lee Johnson or Lee Moriarty has that level of charisma. Like, and
yeah,
Shane Taylor kind of does his own thing, and Shane Taylor's not young either. So
he's
I
no
mean, like,
spring chicken.
yeah,
I do have a soft spot for the infantry. I like those
I
guys.
do too. But
Yeah,
mm,
but we all know why I have a soft spot for them. So, which makes sense. I'm not saying that they're not talented; they are. I keep waiting for that guy EJ Nduka to break through and do
okay,
something on
that's
television.
that's the guy. EJ did a thing with Swerve a couple weeks ago that kind of he showed up and then kind of went nowhere. That might be the move, to be quite honest with you. Okay,
Yeah,
now that you've said that, that actually could be a thing. Like, if
yeah.
you use the Hurt Syndicate to launch EJ Nduka, that could work. And that would be the only thing that I would be on board with because that guy looks like money and you should try.
He looks like he's the only guy in wrestling right now. Like, there's other guys that have that are like bigger and more muscular, but he's like a modern day Lex Luger.
Yeah,
He's just,
he is.
the guy shredded. Now, can he go? And I don't know because I have not seen him wrestle in AEW. I think I saw 2 matches when he was in MLW, but I have not seen a single match since he's been in AEW. And so I just and like there's probably a reason for that. Maybe the guy just can't go. I don't know.
Possible. It's possible, but you should still try. Like,
Yeah,
just look at the dude. Like, a guy who looks like that deserves a crack. I mean, I'll be honest with you, they gave it to Jade for a year.
they
Like,
did.
they tried really hard with Jade. She wound up getting springboarded to WWE, and she's not what we were all told it was going to be, but she's doing fine.
Yeah.
She's fine. So I think that you should try with EG because I mean, like, I think that this company looks down upon star presence sometimes in favor of work rate. And
Yeah.
like if everybody has work rate, then nobody has work rate. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that
Yeah.
you need some it's okay to have some guys that are body guys, that can do something. Like if
Well,
you
it's
can
the Sid. It's the thing we talked about with Sid a couple weeks ago.
yeah,
He can. He didn't have to be a work rate guy. Let him fill a specific role. Let him be. Like Sid was like he's your crazy guy who's a bad motherfucker, and he doesn't need to have 30-minute classics.
I'm okay with this. I'm okay. I mean, like that's kind of thing people like go, oh, they dropped the ball with the Wardlow. I'm like, I don't know. Wardlow really wasn't that good and didn't have much charisma. Like, he really didn't. Like, he got over because he was just beating the shit out of people because that
Yeah.
always works. That always works. When you have a big guy who goes out there and murders people, it gets over. It always gets over. So if you do that with EJ Nduka and you surround him with Lashley and Shelton Benjamin MVP, that could give him some bona fides to launch him. And if that is the plan and have him work with Swerve that way, I could do it. I mean, that's what it should be. Older stars should be used to help get younger stars over.
Yeah.
The person is Will Hobbs. Will Hobbs had surgery, my man. Will Hobbs is not ready to come
I
back yet.
think he might be on his way back though.
Okay,
I think
okay,
yeah.
if he is, okay, I change that back. If Will Hobbs is ready to go, yes, that person is Will Hobbs.
Yeah.
Because he does have charisma, he does have working ability. It seemed like they were ready to do something with him and he got hurt. Because anytime you're working with Moxley, it's like they take you seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. They were definitely finally getting behind the guy. It just kind of
Bad luck.
Yeah, just bad luck. Ended up not working out. Main event of Grand Slam was Darby Allin and John Moxley. John Moxley got the victory here, so it looks like we're finally gonna. Well, finally, they've only been pushing it for a few weeks now, but we're gonna get Bryan Danielson versus John Moxley. It's a Wrestle Dream. What do you think we do there, man? Are we gonna take the belt off Danielson already?
Danielson needs surgeries.
Yeah, but I was like, I thought they would probably drag that out to the end of the year because I don't know how true all of this is with how hurt he is. I'm sure he is hurt, but if he really needed neck surgery that bad, he would not have won the world title.
I disagree with that. I think I think Bryan retiring as the world champion means more than Bryan just retiring, especially retiring in Tacoma, Washington.
Yeah.
Like I think Mox is their hottest character right now. I think you need to put that title on Mox and build somebody. I think Darby is following in the footsteps of his mentor and is now the dumbest babyface in all of professional wrestling. But it kind of fits because he's Sting. He Sting's mentee, and that's a move Sting would have pulled. So okay, I could accept that. And then again, I think that Darby's role right now is to have that constantly taken away from him. Like get close, don't quite get there, don't quite get there. And when he does get there, it is going to mean something. Like, I think that is the right role. I think Darby could get maybe the guy to take the title off of Moxley, but Moxley's doing something interesting right now. And I think you need to put him and they have been. I think they just need to put him at the forefront of the show and let Bryan heal a little bit. And I think Bryan could work well too in coming in here and there.
Yeah, he could be a special attraction coming in for a couple big shows a year, whether that be AEW or anywhere else. I think he's probably going to be sticking around AEW.
I think he's going to stick around AEW because he's in the room. Him and Tony are tight right now. I think AEW just fits with his aesthetic of what he thinks pro wrestling should be more than WWE right now. And I honestly don't know if Bryan and Hunter are, simpatico. I don't think there's beef, but I don't know if they're like, boys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've never heard him say anything bad about any of them over there.
But you don't hear him say much about Triple H to begin with.
Yeah.
And I know they did have some headbutting over the years. Literally, they'd have some headbutting over the years where it seems like he will praise Vince, but I don't think I've ever heard him praise Paul.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard that.
Yeah,
let's see what else we got. Oh yeah, man, big news here. You guys in the chat, I really want to hear what your thoughts are on this. AEW almost lost one of their top stars, but thankfully at the final bell, at the final hour, they were able to re-sign former AEW World Champion Saraya to a 1-year contract extension. Sean Ross Sapp revealed that Saraya had been in talks with AEW about her future, and the company had an option year on her original contract. However, it appears that the current agreement is a separate new deal. Saraya, she's sticking around, JD. We're not losing Saraya, guys. You can rejoice now. You can stop your prayers and you can give them to somebody else.
Tony is a loyal dude. It's all like I never seen a man love his employees. And Tony, if you are loyal to Tony, Tony will love you forever. They did an angle with Kip Sabian last night.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that guy's still there.
I know. He's like he's just around. Like the White Sox had this guy named Minnie Minoso who played from like the 50s. Like he played in one game from like the 50s to the 90s every year. He just stayed with the organization and they just kept him around. And like that's like Kip Sabian. Like,
yeah,
I don't know why we're still making him a thing. It's like Tony is loyal to that first crop of guys that he signed. And we'll just like him and Sammy Guevara, they'll just keep those guys around and make sure they're employed forever. And for Kip Sabian, it's great. Don't rock the boat. Don't cause trouble. You got a job.
It's like a Gorilla Monsoon and Arnold Skolin for Vince Sr. It's like
the Gorilla stayed with Vince Jr. too to the day he died. So I mean, like there's people like that ingratiate themselves that are well liked that stay around forever. Look at we talked about Bruce Pritchard. Bruce Pritchard had to bring a gun to work to get fired. First time he did, and he made his way back eventually.
Yeah. But yeah, when I saw that her contract was coming up due, I just assumed they were going to let her walk because I just can't see the value in keeping her around. Like, I don't really think that she adds anything. I don't think that she fits with the company at all. But I don't know what this is other than the fact that, yeah, you're right. It's probably like Tony is like friends with her. And it's like, well, I don't want to see her like retire. So let me just keep paying this lady.
Harley
Um,
Cameron is with her, and she has proven to be quite talented. Like
she's more talented than Soraya.
in the ring,
Yeah.
personality wise,
Yeah.
like Harley Cameron is, and they had this woman under, and they're starting to figure out what they can do with her. Like she's really entertaining. Harley Cameron 25, 30 years ago would have been a valet and have been a very successful one.
Yeah.
So I mean, like she's talented. Like, but they're keeping Soraya around. I mean, like, I don't know. Sometimes
Yeah.
you just like people, I guess.
So he even hired Soraya's brothers. This transferring heat. Yeah, I remember. I don't know which brother. The guy got himself in shape.
Zach
So
Zodiac, he's in Ring of
yeah.
Honor. I mean, like,
Yeah.
Ring of Honor needs bodies, I guess, if we ever figure out what we're gonna do with that. The TV deal hasn't been announced yet. There's still it's whatever.
Well, I mean, they have to be announcing it for the 5th anniversary, which is kind of something that we had heard a couple months ago too. But I was like, they can't possibly be waiting that long. And sure enough, they're still waiting.
Here we are. I can't
hey-
wait to stop talking about this TV deal. We've been talking about this thing for 2 freaking years. I just want to move forward.
This is the first week in a while we're not going to talk about it. Although
we just did.
Sorry.